Hello, Gary Crowley here with DoItYourselfJointPainRelief.com, and we're doing step 2 of finger joint pain relief. So basically this step is generally really helpful if you have tingling or numbness in your fingers. I found over the years that if you have tingling or numbness, it generally means that the nerves that feed this hand that start way up here, somewhere along their nerve pathway, they're getting yanked on or irritated and causing you to feel tingling in your fingers even though your fingers are actually fine. So we just want to investigate for some tight tissue along this nerve pathway. If it's not tight, you don't have to work on it, but we've got to do the investigation and release any tight tissue that we do find. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to release our lower neck, since those nerves that run down here originate down there. And you're just going to, I take my opposite hand, especially if these fingers are bugging you, and you just reach into your lower neck here, investigate. If you find some tight tissue, you do maybe a press hold move or some press pull release. You can kind of alternate, do whatever feels best. Then you might, actually lower neck, you should probably do both sides. Sometimes they can be yanking from way over on the opposite side. And then we're going to do your neck and shoulder intersection, and that's right here. And all I'm doing is I'm investigating for some tight tissue. And if I find some tight tissue, I like doing just a nice press hold move. Make that tissue function as you basically dig your hand in here and make that tissue move. So that's your press hold move on your shoulder. And you can also do some press pull release. Let me do this. So here's the press hold move. And again, I'm just maintaining that pressure on that spot. I am following it a little bit, the way to maintain that pressure. And then you can do press pull release on that tissue. And you follow it all the way out here. It's tight out here. That's still a pretty good move. But press pull release, press hold move, get that pretty well. Then you want to do your collarbone. Underneath your collarbone. Collarbone starts here all the way out to where it runs into your shoulder. If it's tender, press pull release is pretty good, especially with a little hand on hand. Add a little extra pressure. Or press hold move. Again, if it's tender, you don't need to work on it. If it is, you need to release it. So we've done neck, shoulder and neck, underside of collarbone. Now we've got to do your upper back, because all this stuff can kind of be yanking on things and negatively affecting it. So I do this by lying on a tennis ball. And probably you can lean against a wall with a tennis ball and a sock, which is fine. I like laying on the tennis ball because I can get some better pressure on my tissue that way. So basically, if you take a tennis ball and you lie it on a table and you lie on it, first thing I'm going to do is, actually you can do this on the floor. You don't need to be on the table. So I have this between my shoulder blade and my spine, muscle called your rhomboid in my upper back. You can see the ball a little there. And when I find a tender spot, like right there, I'm just going to make that tissue move under the pressure of the ball. I'm not moving the ball. I'm trying to keep the ball and where I'm pressing in basically one spot while I make that tissue function. And that's also a nice move. And again, on the floor is fine, against the wall is fine. You just do the same thing. When I do all the spots in that upper back between my spine and shoulder blade, then I move out to my shoulder blade itself and the muscle tissue on that shoulder blade. And I basically do the same thing with this tissue. That motion seems to get things a little better, although that's fine too. Whatever works. So that's your upper back release. And after you do your upper back release, then you want to do, so we've done that, we've done upper back. You want to get the back of your arm here. All these big tricep muscles, they can be big troublemakers coming down this arm. And so you just want to make sure they're not tender. If you find a tender spot, press hold move or press pull release. I kind of like press pull release on these, but I also find myself doing that too. So probably a little mix and match on these big tricep muscles. They're big muscles, and any of you folks that do push-ups, these are probably going to be tight. So you might have to do them for a little while, take a little break, come back. You can go do step 3, come back. Remember, you got to release these triceps. Sometimes they take a little while, but they're usually pretty cooperative. And lastly, you want to release the this outer side of your elbow joint. This outer half, there's a little muscle in there called your brachioradialis. Now I like to get my thumb in there. I like to get my thumb in there and do a little press, hold, move, a little press, pull, release. And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. It's also good if in this upper half of this little section here, you also get your fingers in there. Actually, it's good kind of in the whole area. Fingers in there, do the same thing. Press, hold, move. Press, pull, release a little bit, but press, hold, move on this one's pretty good. Get your thumb in there, make it move, it'll tend to let go. So that is step 2 of finger joint pain relief. Please, again, realize that you don't have to work on everything. You only have to work on the stuff that's tight. And especially if you have tingling or numbness in your fingers, this is actually very, very important. But again, if it's not tight, you don't need to work on it. But if it is tight, if it is tender, it means it's too tight, and it could be yanking on those nerves that affect your fingers. So give it a shot. I look forward to hearing how it goes, and thank you for your time.